Hello my loves, welcome back to Zeke's Lunchbox. Sorry I didn't upload on Sunday. I've been away on holidays and I was just too burnt out to make 3 videos before I went, so I'll be uploading twice this week. And this episode's more like a kind of lifestyle bonus episode. I recently went on holiday with my partner to America. It's really hard to be back. When we got back it was raining and freezing and it was a real punch in the gut coming back here because it was like, you're back? This is what you get for leaving. We went to LA, Vegas, and New York. I've been to New York a few times. My dad lives there. I've never been to the West Coast except for the airport. So whenever I see LA in movies, video clips, TV shows, it looks and feels like home, and I knew when I would go there, I would want to move. So what I'll be including in this haul is a couple of art supplies and then other objects of desire that I liked. When we were in LA, we went to Universal Studios. Rel and I are millennials, so we grew up with The Simpsons, and Krusty Land is over there. I think it's Krusty Land in Universal Studio. That was actually my favorite day in the whole trip. I thought it would be kind of corny. Anyway, we couldn't leave Universal Studios without getting something. I wanted a t-shirt of this product for quite some time. This little item we couldn't go without. Pretty much anyone my age can quote every single episode of The Simpsons. This is one of my absolute favorite episodes, so we had to buy it, okay? We got a little Mr. Sparkle Kid Robot figurine, and if you don't know Kid Robot, they do really incredible figures. I would say it's kind of in between commercial products but with more of a quality art take on it. I think Kid Robot maybe started it in LA as well, so it was only fitting for us to get it over there, but it's so amazing. The detail on it is really, really cool. I mean, how could I not go past it? As soon as we saw it, both of our eyes were like, ah! Yeah, that was a good purchase. I mean, it's completely useless, but it's so cool, and the details on it are great. The packaging on the actual soap box are really, really primo. Another thing I got from Universal Studios, actually I think my partner bought it for me. Yeah, it's this pin here. These are pretty common across America, and all 3 cities I saw them in a couple of stores. So they may not be very unique for all of my American viewers, but things like this are really hard to get in Australia, and we get rorted with shipping, so I had to get it. I think it glows in the dark as well, so you know, anything that glows in the dark, it's kind of a winner, you know? I really love the creature from the Black Lagoon. I feel like he kind of reminds me of my art a lot. I love the costume design of it. I feel like he's kind of like the underdog in the Universal monster world. And yeah, that's why I like him. Another thing we got, we kind of went pin crazy. After a certain point, we were like, we need to really stop buying pins. But I've got a pretty intense pin collection, and yeah, I went a little bit overboard. I've never made a pin, but I really should because I love them so much. We popped over to a store near the Jen Stark mural in LA, which is near Culver City. I think it's actually in Culver City, and there's like a little pocket of gentrification. I'm sorry to call it that, but that's what it is, because if you go around the whole neighborhood, it's a little bit dodgy. And then there's like this one pocket of gentrified shops. It's got this really beautiful Jen Stark wall. I love her work. She is like goals to me. We went into this cute store called Paquetto, and I got this cool little pin. I think my partner bought this one for me as well. If you've watched my past videos, or if you know my work, you know I really like geometric shapes. They're just really satisfying, and the designer in me really likes them. So yeah, that was a cute little find. I think the next day after Universal, we went to Little Tokyo. Little Tokyo is really, really cute in LA. Little Tokyo was amazing, but my energy levels were like completely zapped out of me, so I couldn't fully appreciate it. But we discovered this really cute store called Fickle Wish. If you're an LA local, you probably already know this shop. It was really, really cute and had some amazing stuff in it. There's a whole floor underneath there dedicated to 3 different kind of nerd stores. I'm from Australia, so these sort of things are very limited weird over here. So when you have stores that are completely dedicated to just figurines, and then another store completely dedicated to like manga, and then another one dedicated to cards. My partner's really into trading cards. He was frothing that whole time. In Fickle Wish, they've got a whole wall that features lots of artists, and I just thought it was really cute, and just, oh, it was just awesome seeing all that stuff in person. And we found this artist and we bought their comic. It also comes with this cool postcard. This person's work really just spoke to me. It's just really, really solid. As soon as I saw this work, it was like, oh. You know when you discover a couple of artists, or like you find that thing that you freaking love? Yeah. This was a really good find, so I was pretty pumped about that. We were both pretty jolly after that. We're like, and we found a really cool artist comic. Oh yeah, so my partner also bought some Magic the Gathering cards. My partner mostly collects Magic the Gathering cards for the art. We spent so long picking these out. When you're on holiday, you have so much time, so we just spent hours just looking at nothing, really. I probably won't take them out of the packaging because he'll get angry at me. Whenever we go anywhere and look at any kind of products, we're mostly looking at the design and the art behind the product. A lot of the time we don't look at the product for its actual use. We're such art nerds. When we were there, we went to the Broad. Yes, we lined up for half an hour to get into the Broad. For whenever we told locals about that, they were shocked that we waited. But you know, when you're a tourist, you have so much time. So yeah, we went in. And then another day in LA, we went to Mocha, and I'm pretty sure that's when my partner bought these two cards, and I'll list the artists for these below as well. Like I said, we mostly just buy like weird art stuff. Everything we bought is art centric. So yeah, that is all of my stuff from LA. Let's move on to Vegas. In Vegas, we met my dad over there. We stayed in the Mirage. In the Mirage, they had Love, the Beatles show. Yellow Submarine is one of my earliest memories on this planet, so any Yellow Submarine merch, I'm pretty much gonna froth and die over it. And then you put that with a pin and you got my money, all right? So I got a little submarine pin. I would say the most quality pin out of the bunch that I got. I mean, I couldn't go past it. It was so stunning. This is probably the biggest thing that I bought. Again, when you're traveling, I didn't want to buy lots of like bulky things. It was so hard not to buy everything in the gift store for the Love gig, but I bought this Yellow Submarine tin. I know a couple of friends who are gonna watch this video who are like, oh, I want it. I have some kind of weird affinity with tins. One, they're practical, so you got that. And two, I don't know, I've just always been really obsessed with cool tins as a kid. So again, you put that together with the Yellow Submarine, you got my money. This is gonna look so good on my little ladder. This was my most exciting purchase, I think. I was really chuffed about, you know, when you're like pumped for the rest of the day because you're like, I got a cool thing. In Vegas, we tried to find as many like art related things as possible. So we went to the Neon Museum and it was such a good tour. Honestly, if you go to Vegas, go to the Neon Museum. Neon Museum. It's where all the old signs from Vegas go to live, and I had a whole new appreciation for sign making, all the history that went along with it, and I felt like I learned a lot about Vegas. It was truly like the most cultural thing that you could possibly do in Vegas if you want to get a little bit of the history. It was really cool. I highly recommend it. In the gift store there, I found this new diary that I got. It's filled with lots of different grids. Every single page is different with like kind of writing prompts. If you're somebody who does find it a little bit hard to start off with what you should put in a sketchbook, I recommend something like this because yeah, it just helps you kind of break the ice, you know? It's got some lines for you to just experiment with. I haven't drawn with it all too much just yet, but I started my travel journal diary in this. I'm still teetering on whether or not I want to do a video yet. I need to actually make some good work in here first to really make up my mind on it. But yeah, this is a good purchase. There's another artist that I follow on Instagram. His name escapes me right now, but I've seen that he has drawn with paper like this and it's really informed a lot of his work. And I wanted to give it a go as well. So that was a really good find because I've been wanting to find something like this for a really long time. So that was like kind of kismet. It was cool. While we were in Vegas, we went to the Grand Canyon. These were for my partner, but I want to show them off anyway because again, I'm from Australia, so So any Americana is almost fetishized in Australia. Like truly, every single hipster loves American culture to a T here. These got like major hipster Australian cred, if that even counts as a thing. Ugh. So we got these like Grand Canyon patches and they just felt very genuine. It's something that you would find in an Australian vintage store and you'd be like, oh, score, that's awesome. I got the genuine thing. Another thing we did in Vegas, we saw a big show. So like I said, we saw the Love show, but then we also saw a more smaller variety show. Both my partner and I really tried to troll through all of the arty things that you can do in Vegas, because after a while all the excess and all the gaudiness really gets to me. We were there for way too long. I still don't know how I feel about Vegas. I had a really good time, but like, will I go back? Anyway, while we were there, we went to see, I didn't buy this, this is just at the show. We went to see the Opium Show. When I was researching shows to see in Vegas in Australia, basically the general branding of this show really caught my eye. Obviously, I love psychedelia and I mean, how can you not? It's so cool. So that's what made me want to see this show. I saw some previews of it. It looked hilarious. Guess what? It was the best show I saw the whole trip. It was so good. It felt like a little slice of Sydney. Australian humor is very rude, really in your face, really unapologetic. It felt like I was seeing a cool queer Sydney variety show, but in Vegas. So it had like the production levels that a Vegas show would have, but not like a really big budget one, a more smaller one. And even that tiny little burst of money made such a big difference. I had such a good time at that show. It was, I would say, one of the best shows I've seen in my life. You're in Vegas, seriously see the Opium Show. Smaller shows need a lot more love over there. Okay, so this purchase I think is, apart from my yellow submarine tin, probably the best purchase my partner and I made. These hold some serious nostalgia for us, and it was incredible. I mean, again, these sort of things are a dime a dozen in America, but for an Australian it's really hard to come by, so we were like really frothing. In Vegas we went into this nerd store that had lots of like vintage toys. Oh my god, they had so many amazing She-Ra glitter horses. It was so magical. I didn't see many Polly Pockets. If they had a Polly Pocket, I probably would have bought it, to be honest. So we found these cartoon cells, like original cells. I know, like, again, this isn't gonna mean much to anybody, but to me it does. So we bought one of the original Street Shark cells. It's just really cool to be able to, like, when you see it all up close, you really see all the fine details, and also you see a lot of the mistakes, and also how rough kind of a lot of the pieces are. This is just really, really cool for me, honestly. Cells are cool, right? People like art cells, yeah? We got 3 of them. So we got Street Sharks. I'm pretty sure this is from He-Man. The way we chose them, we just chose them by like what kind of art we like. So my partner obviously chose this because this really looks like his art. Both of our art is really inspired by, I would say, like 80s cartoons. The one that I chose really explains like why I make the stuff that I do. You can see a big influence of this piece in a lot of my personal work, because it's basically me trying to rip it off one for one. An original Care Bear cell. I'm so excited to frame these and have them all up in our house. Oh, so cool. Got a little certificate of authentication as well. Apparently the guy who worked at the store, he said he had some dude who worked at the office where they made all of these, and because there were thousands and thousands upon thousands of them, he was just gonna chuck them out. So the guy at the store was like, no, I will buy them off of you. Thank you very much. You can see like they don't cost all that much because the cartoons that aren't that famous, but a lot of people who, if you're my age and a little bit older, you'll remember them, and this, you know that this means a lot, okay? So that was one of the most exciting things that we got. Moving on to New York. This is the first time I've ever been into a Blick Art store. Do people in America like even realize how lucky they are to be able to have all the options that you have? You're so lucky, seriously. You're so lucky to have so many options where you guys live, because it's so hard to get so much of this stuff in Australia. Blick Art store was amazing. One of you guys recommended that I try out buying the acrylic Holbein paint gouache paint. So I did. I'm sorry I can't remember who recommended it to me, but thank you so much. These are amazing. The pigment is incredible. I see a lot of people on YouTube using these, and you can't really get these in Australia unless you order them online. So I had to buy some when I was over there, and I mostly just chose pastel and then like 2 kinds of pink. Of course I chose 2 kinds of pink. Really amazing. I'm gonna do a proper review or like testing out video of these soon, but thank you so much for recommending these because they're awesome, really good. I wanted to buy a lot more art stuff, but by this point I was kind of like shopped out. I also bought a palette while I was there. It's got way more pots than my other one, so I'm excited to fill this one up. Now I actually need to buy more paint to fill up all of this. Again, you'd think that these would be easy to get in Australia, but they're really not. And then the last thing that I'm going to show you guys are these 2 comics that my partner got. I'm sure he just bought them for the art's sake. We've got a couple of vintage comics that we collect, and yeah, these are just going to go straight into our other collection. That's all about art stuff. Alright, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Something a little bit different for my channel. I will have proper art stuff up very soon. I wanted to show you guys some things that really inform my work. A lot of this stuff is me just purchasing inspiration, to be quite honest. And yeah, I hope you can see a lot of the correlation between all these purchases and my work. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you catch me on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to support my channel, you can go over to my online store. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you bell ding dong that video if you want to get a notification next time I post. Zeke to you later. Wait, is that what I say? Alright, bye.